Today, we're going to crack open the code of our economy by looking at two of the most fundamental ideas out there, demand and supply. I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about it? Why are some things so incredibly expensive while other things are just cheap? It's a question that honestly affects all of us, every single day. Well, the answer isn't just random chance. It's actually this constant, epic tug of war that's always happening just under the surface. You've got these two huge, powerful forces pulling against each other, and that struggle, that's what decides the price of pretty much everything. So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll meet the two big players in this game. Then, we'll get into the rules they play by. After that, we'll look at the fun part. What happens when those rules get broken? We'll also check out the outside influencers that can totally shake things up. And finally, we'll bring it all home and talk about why this whole duality is such a big deal.
All right, first things first, let's introduce our two main characters. In one corner, you've got demand, and in the other corner, you've got supply.
It really just boils down to two different points of view. Demand, that's us, the consumers. It's all about what we're willing and crucially able to buy. And supply, that's the other side of the coin. It's about the producers, what they're willing and able to create and sell. They're totally connected. Okay, so these two players, demand and supply, they don't just do whatever they want. Nope, they follow a pretty predictable set of rules. You can think of them as the basic laws of how the market works. And here's where that tug of war really kicks into high gear. The law of demand is super intuitive, right? When the price of something goes up, we, the buyers, want, well, less of it. But the law of supply, it's the exact opposite. When the price goes up, the producers get pretty excited. They want to sell more and more to cash in. So you can see they're pulling in completely different directions. If you were to graph this out, you'd get what's called a demand curve. As the price drops, the quantity we want goes up, so the line slopes down. Makes sense, right? And you guessed it, for supply, it's the total opposite. As the price goes up, the amount they want to sell also goes up. That gives us an upward-sloping supply curve. These two curves are the heart of this entire concept. Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting, because sometimes these rules just get tossed right out the window. There are these super fascinating exceptions where the normal laws of economics just kind of break. And what's so cool about these exceptions is that they're all about how we think. It's psychology. I mean, think about luxury goods. People want them because they're expensive. Or what about emergencies? We'll buy things no matter the cost. And fashion. Oh yeah, people will pay almost anything to be on trend. It totally defies that basic price logic. And hey, supply has its own weird exceptions too. Like, you literally can't create another Mona Lisa. The supply is fixed, no matter what someone offers to pay. But the one with labor is wild. If you pay people too much an hour, they might actually decide to work less and just enjoy their free time more. So higher wages can actually lead to less labor supply. Crazy, right? So we've talked about price, but price isn't the only thing that's going on. There are these powerful outside forces, sometimes called determinants, that can come in and just completely change the whole game for both demand and supply. Let's start with substitute goods. These are basically things you can use in place of each other. Think Colgate and Pepsodent. If the price of Colgate suddenly skyrockets, what do? You probably just grab the Pepsodent, right? The price of one thing directly affects the demand for its competitor. Then you've got the opposite, complementary goods. These are things that go together, like cars and gas. If gas prices go through the roof, you might think twice about buying a huge SUV. See, the demand for one is totally tied to the price of the other. And oh, the list goes on. How much money you make, what's in style, how many people live in an area, whether it's easy to get a loan, even what we think will happen in the future. All of these things can make demand shoot up or plummet, and it has nothing to do with the current price tag. And supply is in the same boat. It's at the mercy of all these outside forces too. For instance, if the cost of raw materials goes up, it gets harder to make stuff, so supply goes down. But a breakthrough in technology could make things way cheaper to produce, and boom, supply goes up. And don't forget the government. Taxes and subsidies, they can be a massive game changer for producers. Okay, so we've gone through all of this, but what's the big takeaway? Why should you actually care about this constant push and pull between demand and supply? Because this isn't just some theory from a textbook. This is like the hidden operating system running our entire economy in the background. It's what decides what's on the store shelves, how much it costs, and what choices you have every single day. You know, when you really get this interplay, it's like you've been given a key to decode the price of everything around you, from that morning coffee all the way up to your next car. And really, it's about more than just economics. It's like putting on a new pair of glasses. It gives you this framework to